Okay. Well, hello, everyone from Kentucky. It's so good to be here. Okay. I think I know what I'm supposed to talk about. Tell me if this is what we are supposed to be doing. And that is, hello, Barbara from upstate New York. I am going to talk a little bit about healthy habits. Is that good? Yeah, we good with that? Okay. Um, I am one of the most exciting parts of Arbonne when we talk about um, why you should join Arbonne. One of the things, do you remember how we used to say timing and trends? Timing and trends are, with us. Arbonne is right where it needs to be. And I do think that is true even to this day. And there were four things. One of them was timing and trends, that we talked about. And so I wrote a lot about that. I'm the kind of person that has to get my thoughts organized because I've got that ADA, ADHD, whatever it is, brain. And if I write it down, then I kind of order it in my head. So I'm going to do my very best to take my what I have gathered to give to you. Okay. And I am going to be 75 in May. Can you believe that? What? I made it. Well, I'm making it. I hope I keep making it. But anyway, I have talked to a lot of people who are a little bit older, particularly about healthy habits. And thanks. And I had some people, this caused me to kind of go back to the drawing board. I had women who menopausal, perimenopausal, and so on, who were not doing very well with our 30 days. And I was they weren't losing weight, or they weren't getting the weight goals that they had wanted. And they did everything they were supposed to do, but that's part of being over, in the perimenopausal, menopausal stage as women. Not everybody has this problem, but there were those that did. So I began to look at that. And I found a book, Dr. Mindy Pels, who's writing Fast Like a Girl. Have any of you all heard of that book? Yeah, yeah. Get in the chat. Do you all like that book? Not like the book? I mean, what do you think about it? The thing that fascinated me was the fasting piece. I wanted to understand about that, because not Herbert sounds great. You really should read it. It's fascinating. But I wanted to know about it because, when I began Arbonne, I'm 20 years in Arbonne this year, January 1st, 20 years. And when I started, I was 55 years old. So I was in that, dumpling stage and couldn't lose the weight and couldn't figure it out. And so good for you, Barbara. And fasting fascinated me. And I've read her book. I've read Mindy Pells's book, and I follow her. And she is talking about fasting in ways that I have not ever heard it talked about. Yes, there are spiritual fasts and people talk about that, but the physiological effect of fasting was something that really was interesting. So I put together a presentation, and I simply said to people, because I'm really not good at hand holding. Do you understand me? You would have hated to be my kid. It was like, okay, well, go out there and do it. You need a doctor's appointment, make the appointment. What's the problem? You do that. You go do that. Thanks. And so it was a traumatic effect to be my child, but they can stand on their own 2 feet. So here's the thing. I simply said, let's do no sugar, no grains, nothing after 6 o'clock, nothing after 6 till breakfast the next day. Go 12 hours. Keep the fast for 12 hours. Okay. Please eat 3 hours before you go to bed. Please be careful about fruits. They are nature's candy. Start looking at carbohydrates and not just calories. And I began to have people who, and I said, read Mindy Pelz's book. If you want to know really kind of the mechanic, read that book. And they did. And I have now since Simply One came out, okay? And that's a couple of years now, right? I mean, the question was, why would we make a protein with no carbohydrates, with no sugar, right? Who was going to be the market for that? And that really started my investigation into this whole thing. And I thought, okay, that's a pretty interesting product. And I found there was a whole world of people out here who are watching carbohydrates. Okay, they just are. And they've moved from the standard American diet, the 6 to 11 servings of grain, cereal, pasta, rice every day, 6 to 11. Can you imagine? They've moved from that because it's not working. And how do I know it's not working? Well, Dr. Hyman says 90, I'll tell you exactly, 90, oh, hold on, 90 something. There's only 6.8% of us who are metabolically fit in the whole nation. Okay. That's stunning, really, actually. Currently, there are 30% more obese people on the planet than undernourished people. And this has happened within a short 15 years, because 15 years ago, it was exactly the opposite. 93% of Americans are metabolically unfit. And for the vast majority of Americans, obesity seldom exists as a singular health issue. Hyman reports that only 6.8% of the population could be considered metabolically fit or healthy. And the other part of us are eating ultra processed foods while too often choosing a total sedentary life and the chronic diseases of metabolic syndrome like diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, high triglycerides accompany a nearly universal overweight or obese population. So that means, what does that mean for us? It's a target-rich environment. Everyone you talk to needs to talk to you. Almost everyone, because they're not metabolically fit. And that starts out with insulin resistance, moves to diabetes, or moves from insulin resistance to a whole host of chronic diseases. But it all starts with insulin resistance. I didn't know that. And what does that mean? There's too much sugar floating in your blood. Too much sugars and grains. When I was a kid, I was born in 1949. In that time, people ate 2 pounds of sugar a year and 2 pounds of flour a year per person. Today, we eat 150 pounds of sugar a year and 150 pounds of flour or wheat, grains. And even the oats, people say, oh, but I love oats. Do you know that they spray oats with glyphosate too? Not just wheat, they spray the oats. So my suggestion to people, because I don't think I can tell everybody, you can't really trust the grains. Everybody thinks bread is the staff of life, all that. Well, that's the old bread. That's not the bread they make today. Okay. That's not the wheat they make today. Is anybody disagreeing with me? Hold your hand up. I mean, anybody agreeing? Can I get an amen out there? Okay. Okay. So I'm not a nutritionist, so you'll have to check my facts. I have a paper. I'm happy to give it to you. You can look at it. But my comment to people is no sugar, no grains, nothing after dinner for 12 hours. And if you add good fats, coconut oil, olive oil, butter, lard, all the old fats, your grandmother, the fats, not the processed oils like canola and all that. Those are industrial oils. They are not good. They lead to all kinds of complications. And when you eat from the drive-through window, that's what you get. Do you understand? That's why you can't eat out. I mean, follow me. I'll make you a social misfit. Okay. You won't be able to go to dinner anywhere. You can't eat anything. You're a great time. Just eat your protein shake before you go. You're just great. You can say I'm fasting. I think you're religious. So anyway, the point is you simply say, and people don't need to know a whole lot, Because you know what they're going to eat if they can't have sugars and grains? They're going to eat a lot of vegetables and lean or fatty meats. They can have fat. Okay. You don't have to eat flank steak. You can have a ribeye. Okay. So I guess what I'm telling you is I know now that of all the products Arbonne has, I can make a case for protein. Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, look her up. She is saying, and there are many who are amening her now, we don't get enough protein. Women get approximately 60 grams a day, and you probably need to double that. It's a lot of protein, isn't it? Okay, but here's the thing. I have a great protein, all right? I just put fat in my protein. I make butter balls, or, I don't put fruit in my shake. I can't metabolize that anymore. May I just say I'm a sugaraholic? People act like, oh, people, I'm like an alcoholic. If you make a pan of cooked chocolate chip cookies and I eat one of them, I am in no better shape than the alcoholic that walks into a bar at 4 p.m. and says, I'll just take a little bit of old Pappy Van Winkle, which is my people, by the way, want you to know. My maiden name is Van Winkle. Just give me a little shot of that bourbon and I'll be fine. I just need just need a little bit. I need a cheat. You'll have to call an Uber at 4 a.m. to get me home. Don't you know? Do you understand how addiction works? I am addicted to sugar and I know it. And I can't do it. So I have a feel for people who can't do it. Now you may be able to, but I know that I don't do that very well. And so I don't cheat. If I cheat, then I'm off for 2 or 3 or 4 days. So I just tell myself, don't do that. So it's no sugar, no grains. And then nothing after dinner. And that's when most people fail, by the way. They think they get a me time after dinner. They get popcorn or a bowl of ice cream. And this is you can't do that. Okay. That's not because you can't do it for your weight thing. You can't do it for your health thing. Your body needs at least 12 hours of rest. You're either digesting or resting. Okay. So let me get back to it. We've got protein because you need more protein. I can make a case whether you need to lose weight, gain weight. I don't care. I can make a case for bucking up your protein. And fat mitigates the protein. It makes it go less quickly to sugar in your body if it's got fat. Okay, that's what fat does in protein. It slows down protein becoming sugar in the body. Then we all need a probiotic. Since 1995, genetically modified foods have been all over, and we have road rash in our guts. Nobody has a good gut anymore. Okay, so I can make a case for protein, probiotics, and greens. Dr. Hyman at the Cleveland Clinic says 9% of us get the greens, the vegetables and fruits we need each day, which is not enough. Okay, so when you ask me, I'm talking to you not about weight loss. I'm asking you to consider protein, probiotic, and greens as a daily supplement to your health regimen. Do you see what I've done? I've gone from a program. I'm saying, hey, because for example, I order vitamin D. I do 10,000 IUs of vitamin D in a day. I take K2 to counteract that, so I don't hopefully get plaquing in my soft vessels. In other words, I've studied this, and I can make an honest, moral, no doubt you need it case for protein, and you buck up your protein through your meals, okay? And then your probiotic, and then your greens. Now you may want to add other things like the detox tea and all the rest, but those 3 products ought to be on Replenish Me every month. And I do that, okay? I do that. Now, who knows about autophagy? Does anybody know what that is? Okay, go to the head of the class there. Kimberly, you're a smart girl. Okay. I didn't know about autophagy until I got into this fasting idea. And this is why it's important to me, and you must know about it. At 75, I may be here tomorrow and I may not. So remember, I told you this. And if this is the last time we talk, I want you to remember this. Do you hear me? I tell my grandchildren that. I tell them, I said, you're going to miss me when I'm gone. They said, when are you going? That's all we want to know. So anyway, they're kidding, of course. Autophagy means self-eating. So embedded in you by God is this cleanup program that happens when you stop eating long enough to let your body go into a mode of autophagy. And it usually happens, if you've gone from dinner one day all the way around to 6 a.m. and then move through, maybe get on to lunch before you eat again, you may go into a little bit of autophagy. And that is it's like Pac-Man going all around eating the plaquing in your brain. It is that process of recycling old cells, depleted cells, regenerating. It builds the immune system. It builds your gut. It builds your brain, your neuroplasticity. It builds your metabolism, or your what do you call that? Not metabolism. Your mitochondria, at the little energy center in every cell. It is like, it's fabulous. Why didn't we know about that? Why didn't we know about that? I mean, it does all these wonderful things. So for me, the Simply One and using the protein, the probiotics, and the greens every day, and giving myself, I'll go into at times an 18-hour fast, a 24-hour fast. I've gone as long, I don't do this often, but every 6 months or so, I may do 2 or 3 days. Okay. And I'll tell you why. I made a deal with my cardiologist, because I have plaquing in my arteries. All right. I had a lot of great fudge, I had a lot of great, bread, cake. I love cake, all those things, sugars and grains. And that really builds up in your system like you can't believe. And I'm old enough to see what happens. Thank you, Jesus. So here's the deal. I said to my cardiologist, what if instead of doing all the things you want to do with meds, what if I fasted and see if my vessels, if I can reclaim some of that? Let autophagy, she knew what autophagy was. She said, okay, I'm game. She said, let's see what happens. So I'm in the midst of that. Okay. And it's as good a solution, or as viable as potentially as hers. Trust me. So I don't want to talk this whole time. If you've got questions, I want to tell you that I don't give people very much direction. I say no sugar, no grains, nothing after dinner until for 12 hours. If you eat at 8, don't eat again until 8 the next morning. And please eat 3 hours before you go to bed. You have no idea what it will do for your sleep, for your energy, for your skin, for everything. You will not believe it. And here are the 3 products that I want you to use every day from now on. From now on, you need more protein. At this age, I only get muscle. Muscle is life. Trust me. The old ladies that come through this cottage that can't get around would boggle your mind. I drive that RV, I get down on the ground, and the really miracle, the great miracle is I can get back up. Do you know how many women can't get back up that are younger than me? Do you know my Pilates teacher says, you know why you move so well? You don't eat sugar and grains. Do you want to move in the last 10 years of your life? Do you want to be vital? Dr. Attia says, what do you want to do in your 80s and 90s in the margins of life? Because whatever it is, you better start now. You better start now to get ready. Okay. And that's what I have learned to do with Arbonne. And I have 3 products that I know help people lose weight and fortify their daily program. I've had people lose 70 pounds, 50 pounds, 20 pounds. I mean, boom, just like that. And this is really powerful. And we have all the products that you need. And I use those three. They are part of my regimen. I also drink the tea. Obviously, I do a lot of things. But those are the non-negotiables. I get those every month. Any questions? Good for you, Renee. Scuba dive. Keep going, girl. It's huge. Who's got a question? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Protein, greens, and probiotics. And I don't care if you do green synergy. I don't care what you do. I use the tubs because I'm home, when I'm home, and I use the green synergy on the road. Okay. So it's greens, probiotics, and protein. And I can make a case for all of those products that you have to have, no matter whether you're big or small, tall or thin, tall or short, doesn't matter. You need those every day. And I like that, Unmute, talk to me. Put holes in this. Tell me that I need to go back to my research. But I've done the research and I've had a line of guinea pigs who've done very well, It's changed their lives. Changed their lives. Okay, Ginger, you're not letting anyone unmute.
Oh, I have a question.
Shoot.
Do you recommend to your people then that they do the protein shakes once a day, twice a day, and then, or certain times, or do you not really care?
It's whatever their window is, we eat it, whatever, get what you need in that window. So my window is typically 4 to 6 hours every day. Okay. So whatever I'm eating it. And it usually depends on how much fat I had in the previous meal. Okay. Because I have become, PELS teaches you to move from fat burning to sugar burning, fat burning to sugar burning. Use both your engines. You have two. I could talk to y'all about this for hours, but you have two engines and you have to be able to move between them. Most people only burn sugar, which means they need to eat every 4 to 6 to 8 hours. By 8 hours, they're, but if you've had enough fat, you can go for hours and be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked.
You said no grains, but the protein has brown rice, so that's okay.
That doesn't. I'm talking about a bowl of rice, yeah. No, that's been reduced to its amino acid elements, you know what I mean? I'm talking about no bread, no oatmeal, no, if I make pizza, it's a cauliflower crust and it's cauliflower, not cauliflower that I've bought in a crust at the store. I make almost all my own foods. I now make my own mayonnaise. I make all of those things. And I know where the ingredients come from. And I can tell the difference when I eat them. And I teach people to be responsible, to understand that they can't trust the food system, particularly. Okay, is that fair? Does anybody disagree with me on that? Now, I'm not trying to, I don't come out with, and people want to know, I'm looking for people who want to have success. Okay, I'm looking for people who understand that something's off. Okay, why are the children, why are they doing tests on 6-year-olds for Ozempic? What? Nuts. USA Today. Go ahead. Answer question. Regina.
Yeah. Hi, Eunice. Thanks for all of this. I have a question regarding fruit because you're talking about limiting fruit, but I find if I don't eat fruit, things aren't moving the way they
Uh-huh.
need to be. How much fruit are you recommending?
I don't. You
You
know
don't-
what I say? You're your own chemistry set. Figure it
Okay,
out.
okay,
And I really don't want to be responsible for anybody's
Yeah.
poop schedule, what it looks like. I don't want to be responsible. And I'm not trying to be flippant here. I don't want to be responsible for when they eat. They will put this together. All I've given them, it's a principle approach. It's not a program. No sugar, no grains. Now, if they're going to cheat on that or do something different, then they have to figure that out. Okay, but no sugar, no grains, nothing after dinner for 12 hours. Please eat 3 hours before you go to bed, and please be careful about carbohydrates and looking at carbohydrates, please, not just calories. Okay, because you can't put that banana in your. I have ladies who were juicing up those shakes. I'm telling you what, they were a dessert. You know what I mean? And then they came, it's the program. It's not working. I'm not losing weight. I said, well, no sugar, no grains, and watch the fruit and watch your carbohydrates. Just what you get in there and Google it, you find it. And then you decide whether you're going to have broccoli with hollandaise or with butter or mayonnaise that you make or don't make. And I have a little list of things that kind of transition them, but the protein is key to transitioning them to becoming fat burners so that they can move between those two systems. Who knew they had a fat burning engine? Did you know that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have a fat burning engine. And you know what's really cool about the fat burner? Once you go into fat burning, you're not just getting smaller all over. You know what's happening? This is burning. Your bum is burning. Your thighs are burning. Your stomach is burning. The fat that's been there since before Genesis. It's like, it moves. And once that happens, you're like, I couldn't believe it. I should get my picture and see if I can share this or not. Some of you do not know me, but I was quite, let me see if I can share my screen. Oh my gosh, here it is. Hold on. This is me. Hold on. This is me.
Wow.
I told you I was a dumpling and I didn't know how to lose it. So I start fasting and no sugar, no grains. And all of a sudden I have a waist. I used to laugh and tell people in my presentations, I'm looking to figure out how to get, at least by the time I'm dead, to have a waist again. Remember those days? Oh my gosh. So here I am, and I've got this big tummy, and I can't figure out how in the world to lose it. And so it was, and this is me. This is my red nose. Let me see if I can get back there. This is my red nose. I'm full of rosacea, and this is me on the right. All that's gone. All that's gone. My skin is better. I feel better. I have better sleep. I have better energy. And I'm like stunned. I'm so excited about it. And I have a whole ton of people who I said, please make a picture for me, okay, of your before and after, and send it to me, and or make a video. And the video says, I was struggling to lose weight and I didn't know what to do. And then a friend, Eunice Ray, came up. I make them say who it was. And she said, no sugar, no grains, nothing after dinner for 12 hours. And voila. And here's my after picture. And they've just done an amazing, when you see somebody who's 37 years old that's lost 70 pounds, due to hysterectomy, she went into early menopause, all that kind of stuff, all these conflicting things. And it took fasting for her fasting is a key that I think we have not really used to our greatest advantage. Just saying. Anybody else? I love you guys. I wish I could take you through this presentation. I mean, I tell people very short, very quickly that the food pyramid doesn't work. The 6 to 11 grains, sugars are grains and, pasta, cereal, all that stuff, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And when they tell you they eat healthy, that's what they mean. They're eating according to the pyramid. And they fix that food in school, in the hospital. When you go there, that's the standard, the pyramid. And I say, okay, that's wrong. Okay, just saying. And it ought to be inverted, and you should be having more meats, more vegetables, more fats, and far fewer, rice, bread, pasta, cereal. You can't eat that stuff, especially now, because even if it was, let's assume it was really high quality and wasn't sprayed with glyphosate. Let's assume that. But it is, okay? It is. So I can make no case for it. And I want you to get free of the sugar blues. There's a book entitled The Sugar Blues. I want you not to be trapped to the sugar. And you will be so much happier and feel so much better. Oh my gosh. People marvel and say, I don't know how. I mean, I'm so grateful. And they figured it out. It's no sugar, no grains, nothing after dinner for 12 hours. Read the book. Then you go in and figure out your chemistry set. And you may need fruit to make your bowels move. You may, whatever it is, I knew somebody's going to ask me about the fizz. I don't do the fizz. You want to know the honest to God truth? Let's just commit candor here, can we? I have a little T-ball, and Michelle Lopes just thinks I'm the dumbest, the dumbest bunny on the block, but she's wrong, just saying. So I put this fizz in my little T-ball and I fizz it out. I want the vitamin B. I want those Coke. I want all that. I don't want the sugar. It's 4 grams. And if you go to 20 to 30 grams in a day, that eats up your carb. I treat them like gold coins. I'm just being honest with you all. I mean, I do like the fizz. I think it's important, but I'm telling you, people say, oh, I do that for the energy. No, they don't. They're drinking that sugar. It gives a little boop, boop. I know, I'm a sugaraholic. So the tree stainer works for me. Michelle says you can't, when I get finished shaking that thing, all that's left is that sugar. And if I didn't get it all, I didn't get it all. I'm good with that. I would like it if we, because, but that's okay. I just say, if you will order the protein, 1 bag of protein every month, one greens or synergy with the probiotics and the greens, and you get the skin elixir with the hyaluronic acid. It's great for your joints. So I'm not against the skin elixir. I'm just saying the probiotic, if it's a matter of money, then it's protein, because you need that to build muscle. You need the greens because you're not getting enough fruits and vegetables for 5 carbohydrates, and you need the probiotic to restore your gut. I don't care who you are. You need that. I don't care if you're big, little, tall, short, doesn't matter. We have those products. That's about $168 or something like that. And it needs to come every month in the Replenish Me. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And I've done I've researched it. I've looked at it. I have seen it work with people of all, pre-med, all ages. A little girl with, she's 40 pounds. I see her on Facebook and I text her and I say, what are you doing? You are gaining a lot of weight. And I know it matters to her. She said, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And I said, well, come to my presentation. I want to show you what to do. So I said, no sugar, no grains, nothing after 12 o'clock. And her husband, they are like in their 30s, he's already got diabetes and he's not even fat. You know what I mean? I shouldn't say fat anymore. They don't want me to do that. I had somebody tell me that the other day. You can't say that. And by the way, did you know that Weight Watchers is now they've adjusted. They're going to be in the Ozempic business as well. watch that Ozempic. I'm telling you, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Okay. Except if you have diabetes, but using it for weight loss is not a good thing. Okay. And I think it may have an impact. It could, it could have an impact. People may decide to take one of those, whatever, semaglutides, whatever it is, a Ozempic-like drug. So I'm talking to people, please don't take that. And please, because there are a lot of people who are doing it, by the way, a lot of doctors who are on board with that. Weight loss, not for diabetes, weight loss. And I'll tell you why I think they're going to do it. I'm just talking until y'all go away. I'll tell you why I think they're doing it. I think that diabetes is such it is global. The diabetes is global. It is so expensive when you're in socialized medicine, particularly. And it is so expensive that if they give it to you and you don't do so well, at least you're not gonna be diabetic maybe or something. They're desperate. The costs associated with diabetes are so great. I don't think they care what happens to, I won't go that far. I think you have to be very careful with the meds you take. And I think it's a problem. And I think Ozempic is looks like a very tempting solution to a pandemic called diabetes. So my charge to you is get out and talk to as many people as you possibly can. Tell them they need the greens and the probiotics or the green synergy. They can do those two products, greens or the probiotic for cause. There's a reason to do that. Or they can do that green synergy and they can make it that's their greens and their probiotics, but they absolutely need the protein, and whatever window they are using to eat in, whether it's 24 hours, I don't think 24 hours is good, but whether it's 4 to 6 to 12 hours, whatever their eating window is, they need to be getting much more protein in than they are getting. Much more. And our protein is a very high quality amino acid. There are essential amino acids and there are essential fatty acids. You must have protein and you must have fats. There are no essential carbohydrates. Do you know that? You will not die because you did not have bread. You will die if you do not get the right fats, and you will die if you do not get the right protein. But you will not suffer because of a lack of carbohydrate. That puts a different spin on it, doesn't it? That's what I know. So when people tell me, because so many are metabolically unfit, I just say, no sugar, no grains, dry out for 2 weeks. At least get off the sugars, okay? And bread is sugar, just so you know. So get off these foods, and then you can begin to think a little clearer, and they see how they sleep and feel. The energy level goes up, they feel pretty good, and they're thinking, I think I like this. I don't think, and I went out last night, Eunice, and I had bop, and I woke up and it took me 2 or 3 days to come back from that because they got off the wagon or on the wagon. I don't know which one that is. But the point is, they didn't feel well and they could tell. And that's all you have to do. Once they see it in their own body, you have accomplished your mission. Now, whether they do it is completely up to them, but I've given them simple to follow direction. No sugar, no grains, nothing after dinner for 12 hours. And if you can go further, go for it. And know
Eunice.
that there's a thing called autophagy, which will build back your gut. They're even talking about fasting as a therapeutic tool. Do you understand? That's a new concept that doctors are now talking about, that it is a way of relieving disease. It's a therapeutic tool. So
Eunice.
I just want to open this door for you, invite you to look at something beyond a program, the principles of health and that they are out there, and we are totally on trend. We are absolutely trending with what's being discussed. And we've got the products. They are absolutely pure, safe, and beneficial. They work. And I've watched people change their lives. And I invite you to that mission to bring people in to show them there is a better, more healthful way. And Arbonne has tools to help them get there. I'm excited about it. I'm so revved up about it, I can hardly wait to get to them. And I do stick my finger in people's sides and say, you know, I can help you with that. And I'm short and gray haired and kind of old. Nobody gets upset. Well, some do. I don't care though. Because they're dying, you know, they're dying. That's what makes me bold. I look at them. I buried my dad with diabetes. I know what that looks like. And when I watched him die so horribly, I thought, I am not doing that. I am giving up sugars and grains, or learning. I didn't know to give up. I'm going to learn what needs to be done. That's the victory in this picture. The smile you see, hold on. The smile you see here is that I finally figured it out. And I can take you to the head of the class very quickly because I've already figured it out. And that smile is victory. I wanted to be able to go. First of all, I wanted to be able to take care of, I didn't know my husband was going to suffer for 8 years with dementia or Alzheimer's, Lewy body dementia, and ALS. I had no idea. Arbonne helped me to pay for all of that care and all of the treatments. I did not have to get into our seed corn, our savings, to do that. I paid for all those treatments. That was $150,000 to $200,000 a year for 8 years. Okay, so I know what it is to be in that time of life when if you'd only known, if somebody had only guided you, you would have avoided it in any way, because your world getting down to the bathroom and the bedroom is a pretty lonely, devastating place. Okay. And so if I stick my finger in your side and say, you know, I can help you with that, it takes so much love to be bold and to be as obnoxious as that, to be able to get someone's attention. And if they're mad at me, so be it. Because I could sit and cry for them. That's how that's how strongly I hold to this. Okay. And I'm so grateful for you all. Thank you for listening to me rant and rave. And I am on a mission, and we've got the products. We've got a mission and a way, and give it to somebody. Just give them, say, buy the book, get fast like a girl. No sugar, no grains, nothing after dinner for 12 hours. Please order the protein, the greens, and the probiotic. You need those every day. That is what you need as supplements.
I just have a question, Eunice. Thank you so much for sharing this. This is great. The question is, I just want to rehash this. No grains, no sugar. Is that throughout the day and then nothing after 12 hours?
That's no sugar, no grains for the rest of your life. Do you hear me?
Oh, okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, that's it. Because you can't, they're not even safe. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the problem. That's the biggest problem.
Unless you find things that have that glyphosate.
But they're going to trigger the insulin in your body. Insulin is the most important hormone. Learn to manage it before you have to manage it with injections. And that's where most of even our children are going.
Mm-hmm.
That is the most terrifying thing. And you know what? My husband had Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's, diabetes 3, or sugar on the brain, is Alzheimer's. Did you know that?
I heard that.
Diabetes.
Yes.
Somebody's heart blows up. Some others have minds that don't work. Whatever it is, wherever your point is, that's where it goes. And it's so So avoidable. It's so hopeful. You don't have to do that. Genes are not fate and not determinative in every aspect. What you do will either pull triggers, gene triggers, or they won't. And so
Thank
the
you.
hope is there, fast like a girl. There's get Gabrielle Lyon, look at her work, look at Hyman and his work. Gabrielle Lyon's going to tell you, we need red meat. She's going to tell you red meat for real. Okay. So you should listen to her. She dealt with geriatric patients and they're at the end of the game, right? They're at the end of life. And she's saying, how did they get to this stage and this state? And she began to work back. So her story, listening to her, is really fascinating because what you're looking to do is avoid those circumstances if you can. Because I want to tell you, it was 20 years ago, like it was 2 minutes ago. It happens that quickly. I was just 55. And all of a sudden I have gray hair and all these wrinkles. And heavens knows what I'd look like if I hadn't used Arbonne. But here I am at almost 75. It happens so quickly. And I look around and I see my friends. And I had to help a lady, a friend of mine, who has been in politics with me for a long time. I had to help her get to the car last night. She grabbed onto me. She could not hold herself up. She doesn't take care of herself. Okay?
Eunice, I have a question.
Shoot.
What is your opinion on honey or agave?
Same thing.
No, same thing.
thing. No sugar. It's half sucrose and our whatever it is, and half fructose. And the problem with it is, fructose is managed and balanced in the is processed in the liver. That's where the fatty liver issue is. Okay, agave, all those sugars, it's insulin. Whatever it does to insulin is what you want to know about. And I can honestly say I have looked at every sugar. I can send you the diagram. How much it's 50% sucrose, 50%, I think it's sucrose. It's one of those. It's 50% glucose and 50% fructose. That's it. All of it. I don't care if it's agave, honey, cane sugar. I don't care what it is. And you know what? You may not be a sugaraholic like me.
Well, I am.
Most of us are. I'm just trying to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But I will tell you, it is very important to watch what it happens, what happens with your insulin. How do you feel? Manage your body. You know your chemistry better than anyone. After you'll learn along the way. And all of these people that I have said, and they are legion now. All these people that I have said, hey, just do these things. Read this book. It's your job, not mine. I don't want to get you on a Facebook page and we're going to hold hands. I don't want to do that because I can't tell you. I don't want to receive the responsibility for your health. You are the only one who can know what works and doesn't. And you know what? When you succeed, you have that face right there. Okay. You have the face that is so, I'm going to be able to end my life or come to the end of my life, I think, with a waist. And so I've achieved my mission and I'm very grateful about that. Okay. And so that was my goal. And I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. And Arbonne gave me the tools. They gave me the tools and I'm grateful. I don't add to my toxic burden. That's how I talk about it. I don't add to my toxic burden with skincare. Anything I put on, shampoo, whatever it is, because toxins get wrapped in bubble wrap called fat and get placed around your middle. And then when you see, this menopause middle, well, that's just all that toxin and all wrapped up in bubble wrap called fat. And it's real important to not not add to your toxic burden. It's exciting, folks. I'm like, wow, I think we can do this. I think we can make a difference in people's lives. And whatever your technique is, it's probably a lot smoother than mine, than just putting your finger in somebody's side and saying, I can help you with that. They laugh about it afterward because it's embarrassing. What are you going to say? Hey, you're kind of a little bit overweight. Would you like me to help you with that? No, I just stick my finger and they know, I knew if I had my finger, it made me feel bad. When your pants are too tight, if you have to lie down on the bed to zip them up, you've done it. That's why I say, I can help you with that. Makes your jeans zip up easier, or your britches. Anyway, I love you guys. I've talked too long. You've been very patient to stay with me. If there's anything I can do, if you can, I just think we need to change it up a little bit. Supplements. I've got tools. It's your job. I can show you some things that'll make your life very different. And in the margins of life, if you want to hike or go and travel, if you want to be able to do the things in life that you do at that stage, because you're not dead yet, believe me, you still want to go, you still want to do, and to not be able to because of somebody not sticking their finger, because you didn't stick your finger in somebody's side. Think about that, because you've got the tools. You could show them the way, because what we've been told is wrong. Okay, this is wrong. And people don't just get sick, they die. And that's why it's important. So I'm excited and I'm on a mission and I love you guys. And if you need me, I'm on Facebook. You can message me. I'll answer you. I'll send you what I can, make you crazy. Anyway.
Love
sleep
you
tight.
too, Eunice. Love you too, Eunice.
Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate it, Marlene. Good night.
Good night.